Hello, everyone, and welcome. Sorry, we're starting about 5 minutes early because outside here in Toronto we've got 24 degrees and it's snowing. So, plus there's very high winds that'll be going on today. So, hopefully, um, we don't get a disturbance which would knock out power for a brief amount of time or whatever. The other thing we're worried about is exterminators. One guy or two or so, whatever the whoever is supposed to come by today. So hopefully they don't disturb me while I'm doing this thing. So my wife is getting ready to just keep an eye out to see what's happening there. Mumbai and Deja Vu always know when there's somebody that's coming into this apartment or trying to come near it, they scatter. So when I start to see them scatter, I know somebody's trying to come to the door. And it's not who they are, and you know. But anyway, positive outlook there aside, welcome everyone. And again, this is my favorite day of the week, Thursday, where we do our two reviews of what I consider, in my honest opinion, the greatest television series I've ever seen in my entire life in the mid 80s, which of course was the A Team. And though I have to say, I was glad to see, uh, Dwight Schultz and Dirk Benedict renew their roles, but in different capacities. When the 2009 reboot came out, which starred Liam Neeson and Bradley Cooper and Quentin Rampage Jackson and Sholto Copley, when they brought that out, and Jessica Biel as, yeah, and then they had the guy as Lynch. But um, when they brought all that out, I was just like, really? I mean, you had a great series. Yes, it didn't end on good terms in season five, um, because you had Robert Vaughn, but he didn't save the show. You had Eddie Perez. I mean, not that Vaughn tried. Okay, let's be fair, because he's gone. Rest in peace. But the other guy who's still around, Eddie Perez. I don't know. He did. He just did not do it for me as Eddie, and I don't know. I guess that's one reason the show failed or ended the way it did during season five. Now, don't get me wrong. Seasons 4 and 5 has some fantastic episodes. In fact, season 4, when we get to the very close end of it, it has the trial, right? 3 episodes. They're fighting for their lives in a military court, which after they've been captured, reluctantly by Stockwell. That's what Robert Vaughn plays. And then they go into trial. And you know what? Yeah, I'm not going to try to spoil it because I think some of you haven't even seen that 3-part episode series from season 4 ending and then going into season 5. So I won't say much. Other than that, though, they go to trial to talk about Colonel Morrison, who was the guy that supposedly they shot and killed over in Hanoi while they were trying, it was like an operation because that's why they call themselves the A Team. They're the Alpha Team. They do special missions that nobody ever wants to do. So there you go. Anyway, but let's continue with season 3 here. We've got two decent series. As I mentioned one time before, I will never put any of my episodes. I try not to. I will never try to put any of my episodes below a C. Now, yesterday, as I said, the exception was a C minus, which for the Greatest American Hero, because um, season 3, episode 14, which is the final episode of the series completely, was a pilot episode set up for this other lady, and I'll tell you the actress's name next week, next Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Always 1 p.m. Eastern, unless I have to go early. Today I had to go 5 minutes, so I apologize. Again, for the inconvenience. But, you know, but that final, it took 3 years, which is weird. It took 3 years to get from April of 1983, which is technically the last episode um, for the show. And then in 86, it was on NBC. It was a pilot. They brought back, William Catt as Ralph and, Connie Selica as Pam. They're now married, right? And then they brought back, Robert Culp as Bill Maxwell. And then they brought in this lady And like I said, I'll tell you her name later. But they brought her back, or they brought her in so that she could become the new greatest American heroine. Right. And it never worked out, which is unfortunate. So that technically was the very final episode, but it was just a pilot. It was a spin-off. Didn't quite work. But anyway, more about that next week. That's going to be exciting. And don't forget, starting March 19th at 1 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays, we will then switch to what I consider a great series, very funny, Get Smart. We start with the very first episode from season 1 and episode 2 from season 1. And remember, that first episode has Michael Dunn, who played Mickey Leak the Loveless uh, criminal, the mastermind in the Wild Wild West series, as well as Alexander in one of those TOS episodes, which we'll soon talk about. So yeah, I mean, well, he's gone now, rest in peace, but fantastic, just wonderful. Okay, well, we're 2 minutes over, so let's go into this awesome narration starting at the very beginning of the every episode by the late John Ashley, who was also a great actor. He did some subparts during the 50s and 60s. During the time of Frankie Avalon, Annette Funicello, all that stuff. But what he always said was, and I read it as I wrote it down, as I remembered it. In 1972, a crack commando unit was sent to prison by a military court for a crime they didn't commit. These men promptly escaped from a maximum security stockade to the LA underground. Today, still wanted by the government, they survive as soldiers of fortune. Now, if you have a problem, and if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you can hire the A team. Dun, dun, dun. Mike Post, baby. Great opening, and Carpenter that wrote alongside him. So yeah, just fantastic. Okay, so we have the first episode is called The Bells of St. Mary's, and we will take a look at 2 actors from that. And then also we have Hot Styles, which is the second one. So that respectively, like I said, episodes 11 and 12 of season 3. And we will look at 2 people from that, including, yes, Dr. No himself, Joseph Wiseman. Yes. You know how big of a Bond fan I am. I'm a Bond fanatic, is what it is. Okay? I have a card, I have everything. So believe me, I'm excited to read about him too, for the second episode. So, all right, so let's go into the first one here, Bells of St. Mary's. All right, and the summary plot is the girl group, the Bells, is being harassed by record company owner Dave Luna. The A-Team finds out by accident because Faith and B.A. are coaching the lead singer's kid brother. Hannibal poses as record producer Danny Diamond and soon finds out Luna is getting orders from a bigger fish. Faith has to constrain himself not to hit on any of the girls in the group while Murdoch takes to hero-worshipping B.A. Alrighty. And the remember, all background information, of course, coming from IMDb. That's what I do for all the series I cover during the week. So I know it's not always complete, but it's okay. It suits my purposes, so that's why I use it. In the IMDb rating, 316 people gave this a 6.8 out of 10. So to be perfectly honest, both episodes I did give a straight up C. They're not the best episodes. As always, when you get into a C grade episode, you look for minor treasures, minor, diamond moments. See how I use that there? And I mean, there's some good moments, but not overall as far as the episodes go. So this one was directed by Dennis Donnelly. Of course, it was written by the writers of Frank Lupo, Stephen J. Cannell. Also, Mark Jones helped out. And of course, the usual cast of characters. You've got George Papard as Hannibal, Dirk Benedict as Faceman, Dwight Schultz as Hallieman Murdoch, and of course Mr. T as B.A. Baracus. Now, in this episode, we're going to cover the man I just mentioned. I'm sorry, he's in this one first, and that's Robert Desiderio as Dave Luna. And then we have the actor Joseph Wiseman himself, who played Dr. No, the lead villain role of Spectre in the movie Dr. No from 1962. And he is in this episode, like I said, which came out December 4th of 1984. So this was cool just to see him, like 22 years later. And, well, I gotta be honest. I think he kind of aged pretty well. I can't, it's been a while. I mean, come on. I mean, it's been 41 years for Christ's sake. But I mean, but at the time, like I said, I'm a huge fan of James Bond. I've owned every film except for one, which is unfortunately I can't find Never Say Never Again, and I've been trying, not for lack of trying, but if I can find it, then I can get all the films. But completely. And yes, I've got No Time to Die. So I have the recent one that Suzanne and I saw, and as you all know, Suzanne is directly related by blood. It's her cousin, Daniel Craig, because she used to have her last name maternally, or her birth name was Craig. So there you go. That's my Tracy Bond. If you want to be real preference to, yeah, without the bullets. On Her Majesty's Secret Service. You all know what happened at the end of that one. Yikes. I don't even have to remind you. That made me cry the day I got to see it finally in theaters, when they brought them back out and everything. So, yeah. Okay, let's see. All right, well, let's go into trivia first. Oh, stop. Come here. I hate these little things that they post up, big ol' ass ads. Yeah, and as I just mentioned, I told you these were going to be small information things today. The character Zeke Westerland is played by actor Joseph Wiseman, who played Dr. No in the original James Bond film with Sir Sean Connery. There you go. And that is the only trivia from this episode. So I told you there isn't a whole lot of information on here because I think these episodes are about a C grade, and that's what I gave them. So, all right, let's take a look at the goof here. If there's a couple. Yep, there's only a couple. That's great. All right, continuity. BA's van is seen with 4 different license plate numbers. Wow, somebody must have been really bored to write these down and type them into this episode reenactment, review. But here they are. 1A. Oh, let's see if I can do it in military. I'm trying to remember. Okay, 1 Alpha Whiskey Indigo 247, 1 Delta Bravo Oscar 972, 2 Edgar 14859, and Sam 967238, alternately during this episode. Cool. And now we're revealing mistake. Now, after the shootout at the apartment building, Face leaps from the rooftop of the building onto BA's van on the street below. He fires some more rounds and is then shown crawling into the van through the sunroof. However, during this shot of him leaping onto the van, the top of the van has no openings at all, much less any type of sunroof. Later on, BA follows Murdoch in the van, and when he pulls onto the street, an open sunroof is actually shown, but definitely not wide enough for someone Face's size to be able to crawl through. Now, that's a huge mistake, which is probably why most people said, "Yeah, it may be 18, but not quite believable." So, anyway. Oh, yeah, my wife's looking at the beautiful snow outside. 24 degrees, folks.
Looks beautiful.
Oh, it's gorgeous. I love when it covers the city. All right, let's take a look at the quotes here. I hate these L'Oreal commercials. There we go. All right. So, Hannibal says, Charlotte said you were having some trouble with the record company, and trouble provides our main source of employment. And then there's a girl named Jennifer Kim that talks to Murdoch, and she says, Hi, I'm Jennifer Kim. Hi, as soon as I find out who I am, you'll be the first to know, Jane. And then Hannibal says, life is full of risk. Even good pizza can give you indigestion. And then Hannibal says to Zeke, Mr. Wiseman, Zeke, you stooped lower than I thought. Son, I'm so low I can walk under a swamp alligator with my hat on. And then Face Man to Hannibal, he says, why blue? Because they were out of green paint? Murdoch to BA, did you know that you inspire men? You are a natural leader, and I stand in awe of the Baroccan one. I have no time for the jibber jabber. And then Hannibal, Faceman, and BA. So we never mess around with our clients. It muddles the atmosphere, distorts our thinking. It is dangerous. That rule. Hannibal's right. Can't mess with these ladies. Oh, come on, guys. Rules were made to be broken. Noses are also made to be broken, right, Face? Murdoch says, well, I just want you to know that I think that you are one stupendous mud-sucking wonder. You are a man that somebody can admire, and I look up to your goodness. And then Zeke says to Hannibal, might be. We got to sing a little different tune now. You don't by any chance happen to know chicken in a bread box, do you? And then Hannibal says, you're 0 for 2, Luna. Next time we'll put you in the obituary column. And then it's between Face, Charlotte King, and Hannibal. Would you happen to have any eggs in your refrigerator? Are you hungry? He wants to practice his juggling. And finally, Murdoch says, all right, drop your guns and your pants. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay. Looks like we don't have any listings for soundtracks today in this episode. Let's see what we got on filming and production. Okay. So mostly the 3 places they filmed this episode around was Hollywood, in LA, and Burbank. And, there's some good episode locations here. All right. One motel they filmed at was the Bella Vista Motel at 1605 North San Fernando Boulevard in Burbank. Then, as what stood in for St. Mary's School, was John Marshall High School in LA at 3939 Tracy Street. 3939. 6969. I know. I couldn't resist. And there I go. I'm losing my voice. Turn the page. Okay. Hoods and 2 cars turn here. The taxidermist building in the background still stands today at the corner of South San Fernando Boulevard and East Santa Anita, which is near the race track for the horses or dogs, depending on your point of view, Santa Anita Avenue in LA. The A-Team confronts the Hoods in 2 cars, but there's a building demolished right there at 223 East Santa Anita Avenue. And the Hoods screeching stop Cole B, that's COL-BEE liquors in background still exist. And that's at the intersection of Cole Avenue and Willoughby Avenue right there in LA. So very cool. All right, so let's take a look at the cast and crew finally and see what we have here for, let's see. All right, so Robert Desiderio, who played Dave Luna, the guy they're opposed against. Oh, God, I hate all these pop-ups. Drives me nuts. Okay. And guess what? Robert Desiderio is still around with us. That is awesome. He was born on September 9th, 1951 in New York City. He is an actor and writer known for working on series such as Knots Landing in 1979, Liberal Arts in 2012, and of course he was on the soap opera Ryan's Hope in 1975. He has been married to Judith Light. Judith Light, if you all recognize her, she is from that show that Tony Danza was in, and also featured a young Alyssa Milano. Oh, what was the name of that show, honey?
Who's the boss?
Who's the Boss? Thank you, baby. Mwah. I told you my wife is smarter than me. Yeah. So, God, I'm sorry. I have a terrible cough today. So I apologize. But yeah, Judith Light, who was the woman interest to the man she hired to help her around the house, uh, Tony Danza. He's been married to her since January 1st, 1985. That's pretty impressive. So this year they've been married for 40 years. They just celebrated their 40th wedding anniversary. Totally cool. So he's a September guy, just like me. And when he reaches his birthday in September, he'll turn the ripe old age of 74. That is awesome. Okay. So when he worked on, let's see here, trying to go back in chronological order. When he worked on Ryan's Hope, he was the character of Orson Burns, and he worked on that for 5 episodes in 1982. From 88 to 89, he was Ted Melcher. Wow. For 26 episodes in Knots Landing. Um, in 2000 to 2004, wow, he even worked on The Sopranos. That is awesome with Gandolfini. Jack Mazzarone, he was on there for 3 episodes. And then finally, a movie called Liberal Arts from 2012. I barely remember that film. I think it was more of an art film. It really wasn't that big. By that, he played the simple character of David. And when we always look at the last thing he worked on, I think he retired early because a few years ago. Because according to this, in 2014, he was on the episode or on the series Modern Family. He did 1 episode, and he was Alan Ferguson. So he's living the retired life, I guess, with Judith. That's cool. Great love story. All right. So let's go back and take a look at the last person from this episode. Of course, Joseph Wiseman as Zeke. That is cool. Let me take a look. Yes, okay. So we did lose Joseph Wiseman in 2009. Rest in peace. But he started James Bond franchise off as Dr. No, the leader of Spectre, before he gets wiped out at the end, And then, of course, Blofeld took over. Or Stavros Blofeld, by the way. Anyway, Joseph Wiseman was born on May 15th, 1918 in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Yes, he's Canadian. He came to Broadway in the 1930s, where he was critically hailed for performances in Shakespeare's King Lear, Clifford Odets' Golden Boy, and Anton Chekhov's Uncle Vanya. Motion pictures in which Wiseman has been seen include not only Dr. No in 1962, but hold on, got to stop something here real quick. I love the opening, but come on, I don't need it right now. Detective Story 1951, starring Kirk Douglas. Viva Zapata! Woohoo! Yay! With Marlon Brando from 1952. The Garment Jungle in 1957. The Night They Raided Minsky's 1968. The Valachi Papers. Oh, God, I remember that movie. Great, great spy novel from 1972 and others. Let's see here. Okay. So, like I said, he was in Viva Zapata as Fernando in 1952. Dr. No, of course, in 1962. He was a lawman, Lucas, in the movie Lawman from 71. And it says here he played, yes, King Draco in the sci-fi series with Gil Gerard and of course, Commander Wilma Deering, played by Gray. Buck Rogers in the 25th Century. The movie, by the way, not the episodes. He was in the actual movie, pilot movie that opened, and in 1979. So yes, and the last thing he did work on before he passed, Law and Order. He was in that TV series. He did 1 episode. Seymour Burgreen. Very cool. All right, so that is the indomitable, I call him, Joseph Wiseman, actor and soundtrack. That is so awesome. I'm glad I got to see him in this episode. Okay. So let's see. I guess we'll go ahead and move on. But first, we'll check out the chat. Okay, I don't see anybody, but I see my beautiful wife did leave a like. So thank you, babe. She's working on housework. That's what she does. But she's great at it. Okay, so let's take a look at the next episode after this one. And of course, that one is called Hot Styles. Right, this came out December 11th, 1984. This also got 329 people who gave it a 6.6 out of 10. So we're all pretty much in agreement, around a C grade. So, um, and of course, the summary of this one, excuse me, is just when Templeton Facepack was getting cozy with Hollywood model Rena, played by the wonderful Marky Post, rest in peace, she's snatched before his nose by Chicago crook Johnny Turian, but does not exactly appreciate being rescued. Sneaking aboard his yacht during a party she attends, Templeton gets her to confess being Johnny's brother Tony's widow. Say that 5 times fast. And he blackmails her to spy on fashion designer Jason Burnett, so gangster Dubrio's company Revell Fashions can produce pirate copies, but not what his hold over her is, so the team fakes designs by Murdoch. That's cool. All right. Now, this was, I think I'll just add in a third one here quick because I know there's two I'd like to take a look at. But the director is Tony Mordenti. Let's take a look at him for a minute. Let's see here. Okay. Wow. I don't get it. Why do I look up these guys and then they're dead like yesterday or something like that? Yeah. Well, he was a director producer and he worked on additional crew. He did pass away last year, 2024. He was 88 years old. He was originally born on December 3rd, 1935, in Brooklyn. So he's a New Yorker too. He was a director and producer known for West Side Story in 1961. Quincy, you know, the one that featured Jack Klugman in 1979, and Quincy M.E., and Hardcastle McCormick. Wow, cool, 1983. He was married to Jean G. Frazier, who is one of my wife's relatives, Sandra C. Rivetta, oh, and the wonderful Cheetah Rivera from West Side Story. Nice. He died on June 11th, 2024, in Henderson, Nevada, just outside of Las Vegas. That's where a friend of mine still lives with another friend of mine, Danny, when I performed with a band back in the early 2000s. So cool. He was 88 years old. All right. So according to this, let's see. Wow, this is an impressive resume. Okay, so other than being the director for one episode here on The Greatest American Hero, back in the past he worked on additional crew in 1961. For Quincy, he directed, with Jack Klugman, Quincy M.E., he directed 2 episodes in 79. And in Hardcastle McCormick, in that TV series from 83 to 86, he directed 16 episodes. Wow, that's impressive. And the last thing he worked on for 33 episodes was that one that featured Stephen Collins, Seventh Heaven. And he was the director of that series from 97 to 2003 for 33 episodes. Wow. Oh, and he even worked on Love Boat The Next Wave. That was a spin-off of the original Love Boat. He worked on 4 episodes of that back from 1998 to 1999. And he did one episode of a thing called Safe Harbor from 99. So, yeah, he was Tony Mordente. He was in a lot of that. All right, cool. All right. So, of course, this was written by Lupo and Kel. Stephen Katz also helped out. Usual cast of characters. All right, so we will look at 2 of them. Let's see here. What else do I want to pick from? I know I'm going to take a look at Marky Post, unfortunately, because she passed away. Let's see. Yeah, we'll look at a guy named John Moshida Jr., who played Jason Burnett. So we will take a look at the 2 of them. But we'll do that after we get through the trivia and everything. So, all right. Okay. In the trivia, the final scene of the van going into the water is recycled footage from When You Coming Back, Range Rider, Part 1 from 83. B.A. appears only briefly at the final scene. He does not take part in the action in this episode. Marky Post also played as Face's lost love in the season 2 episode The Only Church in Town. After the A-Team first burst into Turian's place, excuse me, Murdoch is being Murdoch in front of the three thugs. It's clear that the thug on the left is trying like crazy not to laugh at what Murdoch is saying, but simply cannot contain himself and breaks character by smirking quite a bit. Murdoch's line where he says, "We won't shoot, sir, till we see the white in their eyes," is based on the famous command, "Do not fire until you see the whites of their eyes," which is most often attributed to Colonel William Prescott in the American Revolutionary Battle of Bunker Hill, which started it all. Well, that was actually Lexington and Concord, but hey. All right, so let's take a look at goofs. Now, in continuity, when the security company checks Burnett's limo for security breaches, oh, cool. The software showing where the bug is located on the vehicle shows the security company's name as Execu Tech on two different screens. However, when the A-Team breaks into the security company using a fake fire as cover, the same computer shows the company name as Execu Tech when Face performs the search. About 7 minutes in, Murdoch's jacket is zipped up. In the following scene, moments after his jacket is no longer zipped up. Okay. And there's a few more, and we'll go into those in just a minute. But I heard that Fat Man Batman is in the house. Hello, Fat Man. Richard, great to see you, my friend. He says, just stopping by to say hi. We're getting ready to leave, just making my coffee. Be careful out there. Yes. It is, well, it's cloudy right now. It is kind of snowy, just little flurries, but 24 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, in the greater GTA here. Of course, we're in Scarborough. We're in a suburb, so me and Suzanne, so, and the kitty cats. Moo pie, deja vu. Yeah, like the song that Gorilla built for us. So, yeah. Yeah, we will be careful. You be careful out there, Fat Man. Richard, absolutely. We got 4 likes, yay! And we got 3 people still watching us. Very cool, cool. Thank you so much. We appreciate your continued support of our channel. We really do. Always. Well, thank you. Thank you, sir. And how is your wonderful partner doing? How's Gigi doing? She doing all right? Everybody good? Cool. Very cool. You know what? Larry was very happy when he saw you guys. And I loved your videos. I really did. Every one of them that you guys did together. Yeah. Oh man. When you're in the candy store, right? Like a kid in a candy store, that phrase. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I was all over it. Suzanne and I we were watching it all over it. Yeah, she looks wonderful. Oh yes. Of course. Of course. You look great yourself, dude. Come on. You're handsome enough, right? Facial hair, all that stuff. Sure. Why not? She loves me for me, That's a song somewhere. Oh, yeah. Blessed Union of Souls, Leonardo. Wow. Oh, there's Gigi. Oh, Gigi, hold still. Hold still. Don't move. Hold on. Let's put you as a standard moderator for this channel, too, so that the couples can share this. All right. There you are. Congratulations, Women Wonder with Gigi. She is now a standard moderator on our growing channel. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Larry did an awesome job on them. Yes, he did. He did. He works so hard. He really does. And he's gone through so much since last year. Oh, God. And I told you guys, I've known him for 48 years. When we get to 2027, hope to God we get to that year, that'll be 50 years as a friend. I've never had a friend more than, 5-10 years at most? This guy I've known for 50 years. And he is a member of my actual family. He was adopted into our parents, when, a long time ago when he lost his biological father. Then he had his stepdad, then his mom, Sherman. So, yeah. There you go. Thank you. You're going to have to celebrate that now, 50 years. This calls for celebration. Yeah. Yeah. Well, come on. You guys, hopefully you'll be there with us when we do a special live stream. I want to do that when we reach our 50th anniversary. That actually coincides. That excuse me. Gosh, dang, this cough today. It actually coincides with the day we met, which was, officially that we met. We were standing outside waiting for Star Wars to premiere. That was way back in May of 1977. So that is officially our friendship when it began. So, and Gigi says, thank you so much. Bless you and your wife today. Tell her hi for me, please. Oh, I will. Thank you. She says hello back. Yeah. And Fat Man says, or Richard. I'm just going to call you Richard, whatever. But, well, okay. But if you like Fat Man Batman, I can throw that in too sometimes. He says, yes, good friends are hard to come by. Gigi says, definitely be watching out for that. We'll put that on our bucket list. That's a must watch. Yes. 50 years as friends. That doesn't happen very often. That's very rare. Well, my parents, last year, they reached their 60th wedding anniversary. Is that insane? Man, you never see that in today's lifestyle or what goes on. My wife and I, we just celebrated 15 years together as a couple. For both of us, that never happened. We had 6 previous relationships that were pieces of shit. Let's be honest. But when we reached ours, it was number 7. 7 is my lucky number. It was my third and her, um, fourth. And, so, or fifth in this case. But anyway, we've been together since March 1st of 2010. We met online. And then we officially got married 6 years later, back in April 19th of 2016. Well, before that, we got married in Niagara Falls. That's a secret. Probably not anymore, since people will be watching this, I'm sure, from my family and our family combined. Um, yeah, Richard says, we are not going anywhere. And Gigi says, hello, wife. Nice to meet you. Oh, it's a pleasure. No, you don't see that 60 years. Brilliant. Yeah. Gigi says, I'm glad you told it like it is. That is the truth. We have known each other for 24 years. It's been an adventure, right? Yeah. Yeah. Gigi says, a Niagara Falls wedding. Love it. Well, my wife is a board certified and respected Universal Life Church, which is an association. They commingle with the Roman Catholic Church. You all know that Pope Francis is dying, right? So we're all saying special prayers for Pope Francis. I know my parents; they're uh, ministers of the oh God, no, that C word. I can never. Why can't I remember that?
Carmelite.
Carmelite. Thank you. See, I told you she's smarter than me. That's why one of the main reasons I married her, because she's way smarter than me. Okay, they are Carmelite ministers. They build it up through the Catholic Church, and my parents have a real pull when it comes to prayers and things, which is so fantastic. And I know they're praying overtime for Pope Francis. Yeah, big time. Yeah, God bless her faithfulness and the church and in the relationship. Such a blessing. It is. It's a wonderful blessing, Gigi. It really is. Um, yeah, that's awesome. Your parents, me and Gigi, have been around each other 25 years. February 11th. We're married 6 years, August. Fantastic, dude. Yeah. So I'll get back to this real quick in a moment. But as I said, we first met online March 1st, 2010, 15 years. We just passed that. When we reach April 19th, 2016, we got married in a courthouse there down in Phoenix, Arizona. My parents, as Carmelite ministers at the time, but now, well, back then they were just Eucharistic ministers in the Catholic Church. Now they're Carmelite ministers. But they were our witnesses, not only to our wedding, me and Suzanne, but also to other groups that were in the courthouse that day. So, I mean, and you can't write a script better than this. That's why I said we need to do a movie, her and I, to write a movie script and do a movie based on our relationship, because we got married by a judge named Macbeth, and she quoted a Shakespearean love soliloquy verbatim by heart for the two of us. I mean, this judge even had me and my dad bawling our eyes out, and here back in the pew area, Suzanne and my mom are laughing at us. Oh my God. I love you, son. I love you too, Dad. Where we just, stop crying, son. Yeah. Thank you, baby. Oh, this is so great. Oh man. Yeah, and then the married moment we had was actually our engagement marriage, but we were in Niagara Falls back in 2015 on June 23rd, and we had one witness, but I keep him in secret. Yeah, but anyway, so the two of us, we got married in a hotel room, and of course, because she's a minister, she can minister it, and that was pleasantly 10 years ago. So when we get to June 23rd, we'll talk about our Niagara Falls marriage. So yeah, yeah, before we go in, the next year and get married in Arizona, with my folks. So yeah, just fantastic. Anyway, yeah, let's get back to, but this is pleasant. I love this, Richard and Gigi. Yeah, you guys are wonderful. And thank you so much for having fun with Larry there. That was a lot of fun. Okay, so we have a couple of revealing mistakes. Now, during the final scene in the van, the interior of a soundstage or warehouse is visible above the top of the van. The van obviously is not traveling down the road seen in the exteriors, nor is it moving at all. The goon that fights Hannibal on the boat has a rubber knife, as the tip bends easily when it touches the door. When the team blasts through the garage door to retrieve Rena from Johnny Turian and his thugs, it is very clear that it's not a garage door, but corrugated steel, which is sheet metal. Wow. In a miscellaneous goof, Marky Post, Rena, plays Faces Dirk Benedict's college sweetheart as a nun in season 2, episode 3, The Only Church in Town. I'm guessing she's no longer a nun by the time season 3, episode 12, Hot Styles comes around. And finally, the crew or equipment that's visible. When the limo pulls over to the side of the road and you hear a face say, Security Code 14, returning to rendezvous point, just as the limo comes to a stop, you can see the reflection of the cameraman in a flannel shirt and jeans kneeling on a carpet briefly. Wow. Yeah, I'll really have to rewatch that episode to catch that, because I think that's kind of cool. No soundtracks, even though you guys know that Mike Post and Pete Carpenter did the A-Team theme. Okay. All right, and the first quote is Hallieman Murdoch. I don't suppose that you noticed that I'm wearing gold. Do you know why? Let me tell you why. I got behind the wheel of this van here, and I noticed that she was shimmying a little, pulling to the left. Well, it finally hit me. That ugly mudsucker tunes the suspension of this van to compensate for all that gold he was wearing. So I put on a few chains, a few rings, a bracelet, and some bricks under the seat, and it worked. And then Hannibal says to Turian, oh, I'm sorry about that hole in your boat. What hole? The hole that this is going to make. Abandoned ship. And then I can't believe Murdoch says, I can't believe she turned him in. You better come up with a plan lickety split, Colonel. Otherwise, our face man's going to be doing flip ups with Charlie Tuna. And then Face says, come on, Hannibal. You know we didn't do anything. We took a mission. We knocked out an enemy position, which just happened to be a bank. Our commanding officer gets killed. Oh, and by the way, so we end up getting sacrificed to preserve international relations. And then he says to Rena, look, Rena, I know you're in trouble and I want to help. All right, so just tell me. Don't you think there's a few things you should tell me, like who you really are? Well, there's a part of my life I didn't want you to know about. Oh, looks like we have more in common than we thought. And then Turian says, my security's falling apart. What am I paying you guys for? I got guys coming at me with machine guns in my warehouse, and you let a couple of 2-bit jewel thieves waltz in here and rip off my cufflinks. Okay. Alrighty. So, and let's take a look at the filming and production. Okay. So, around the LA area, Marina Del Rey, Long Beach, wow, where my sister and her husband and sons live around that area, and the Port of Los Angeles, and Hollywood, and, of course, Murdoch pulls over when the girl asks to be let out. This was at Hillcrest Road, north of Franklin Avenue, facing southbound in Hollywood. Cool. All right. And finally, like we said, we're going to look at the cast and crew. Now, first of all, we'll look at Marky Post. Rest in peace. But Turian, I recognize them. So we will not do John Machida, but I think, yes, Richard Lynch. Yes. I remember the Richard Lynch in a lot of things. So we will look at Marky and Richard. So let's take a look at her first. Alrighty. Okay, yes, we did lose the wonderful and beautiful Marky Post in 2021. And she was born November 4th, 1950. And she died at the age of 70. She grew up in Walnut Creek, California. She started her career on films and TV shows such as Card Sharks in 1978 and The New Card Sharks in 1986. And she went on to even produce some projects as Double Dare in 1976 and has made appearances on such television projects as First to Die in 2003, The True Hollywood Story in 1996, and Electro Woman and Dinah Girl from 2001, and perhaps her biggest TV role was as Christine Sullivan on Night Court from 1984. She appeared in 156 episodes of this comedy. Cool. Yeah. So let's see. Trying to look here. Okay. So she was Terry Michaels in The Fall Guy, with Lee Majors. She did 65 episodes of that from 82 to 85. She played his boss. Then in Night Court for 159 episodes, as I mentioned, she was Christine Sullivan. That was from 84 to 92. She was in the movie with Cameron Diaz, There's Something About Mary. She played Mary's mom in 1998. And of course, the TV short, which was a reboot of the original 70s Electro Woman and Dinah Girl, she played Electro Woman in 2001. And according to this, the last thing she worked on was back in 2019. She was in a TV series called Soundtrack, and she was Joanna's mom. Okay. And she even did a Christmas movie called Christmas Reservations as Tay Griffin from 2019. That is so cool. Oh, and the kids are all right. She did 4 episodes of that, if you guys remember that episode or series. So, rest in peace to the late Marky Post. Okay, now we're going to look at Richard Lynch instead, who played Turian. So let's take a look at him. Here we go. Okay, Mr. Richard Lynch did pass away, unfortunately, in 2012. So rest in peace, Richard. He was born February 12th, 1940, and in June 19th of 2012, he was 72 years old. He was born in Brooklyn, New York, to Irish immigrant parents. He was one of 7 children. Before starting a career as an actor, he joined the United States Marine Corps in 1958. I salute you, Richard Lynch. He served for 4 years where he made corporal and did a tour of the Middle East with the 6th Fleet. He began his training with Herbert Berghoff and Uta Hagen at HB Studios in New York's Greenwich Village, and later went on to train extensively with Lee Strasberg at Carnegie Hall. Cool. And according to this, he did win 1 award. Back in 1983, in The Sword and the Sorcerer. Oh my gosh, that was a great sci-fi film and fantasy. The Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films gave him the Best Supporting Actor award. That is so cool. All right. And of course, Richard Lynch. Let's see here. Oh my gosh, yeah, one of my favorite villain roles, but I'll tell you that in a minute. Okay, so he played Unkar Moore in Death Sport from 1978. In The Sword and Sorcerer, he played King Titus Cromwell in 82. Invasion USA, he was that Russian villain Rostov that Chuck Norris kicked his butt at the end. Oh man, just so cool. Yeah, from 1985. That's one of my all-time favorite Chuck Norris films, Invasion USA. And then in the reboot of Halloween, he played Principal Chambers from 2007, the one that Rob Zombie brought back. So very cool. The last thing he did, it's in post-production right now. He played a German leader, Hick, Snurd's brothers, in a movie called Lewisburg. I think, yeah, that's in post production. And I didn't want to say the N word because, that's not proper. And then The Lords of Salem in 2012, he played Reverend Hawthorne, which is Frankenstein and the Witch Hunter. He was uncredited. That was his last big movie role. Well, apparently, this other one that's posthumous, but yeah. So, Mr. Richard Lynch. Very, very cool. All right. Well, that does it for all of our 2 episodes today. Hope you got a lot of nice information, stuff about the shows, the episodes, some background information on the people that appeared in the episodes, the background of the locations where they filmed everything. It's so cool. I mean, there's so much about these episodes that, even like I said, even though I made both of these C grade episodes, they were fantastic. They were still good because, I mean, I don't think there was ever a bad episode per se, in my own opinion. When it came to A-Team, yeah, even the one episode, where Jack Ging, who plays Fulbright, of course he gets, accidentally shot in the back, or not accidentally, but I have to say accidentally, for the YouTube overlords, but he gets shot, right? And that's the one that had Tia Carrera in it. And then, of course, Hannibal goes over and uses flamethrower on the guy that shot him, but anyway, yeah, but that was the only time you had one person that actually supposedly got hurt and killed. So, in A-Team. But anyway, that'll be for a future. We'll talk about that one. Oh wow, it's a hard time catching up with all this wonderful background that you guys have provided, Richard and Gigi. Let's see. Right, very cool. Yeah, and 25 years, congratulations, and 6 years married. August. Yeah, Richard says it was a blast. Larry is awesome. And Richard says, we're going out the door now. You all have a blessed day. You too, sir. And Gigi says, we did have a terrific time with Larry. It was awesome getting to know him, and his wife will never forget that opportunity. Thanking you for being such a good, faithful friend to him all these years. Well, thank you so much, guys. Really, really. And dropping a like from work. Hello, Bone. Bone, good to see you, my friend. Yep, we're on the tail end, but thank you for dropping a like. 6 likes. Thank you so much. Wow. You guys and gals are amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really get emotional because, look, it really doesn't bother me. We have 243 subscribers to our channel. A couple more, we get to 250. That doesn't bother me at all. Doesn't. Really doesn't. You know what it means? It means just more friends, the camaraderie, the family, the relationships, things that you can get together, enjoy, and know that you have friends throughout the world, everywhere, that they care about your channel, they support us, they pray for us, everything. So that is so wonderful. Yeah. You see, the man that thinks he has everything, one of my friends who has 10,000 subscribers, thinks he has everything? No. Nope. No way. Nope. Anyway, no more about that. So, next week, let's see. We go into episodes 13 and 14. So let's talk about next week here real quick on the A-Team. So, all right. So next week we have Breakout. Okay. Wow, it's got a weird picture of Dwight Schultz on here. Wow. Okay. So Breakout, that's that one. And then Cup of Joe, that's the other one on episode 14. So 13 and 14 next week. Don't forget, next week, of course, is our final 2 episodes of The Greatest American Hero on Wednesday. And then we go into Get Smart. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Okay. And Jeff B. Hello, Jeff B. He's been listening and lurking. Hi, Mikey. Was having a late lunch. Hey, no worries, guy. I'm glad that you're here. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jeff B. You're wonderful. You're awesome. Thank you for being a great supporter of our channel. Really appreciate that. Okay. All right. So the only thing coming up this weekend, of course, like I said, on Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern, my friends Dan and Jay and Eli and Scott, hopefully all of us will be together. We are covering Renegades: The Requiem. That is officially the sequel to Star Trek Renegades fan film. Again, that came out in 2017, but it wasn't back on YouTube until only a few weeks ago. So probably about less than a month ago. It was directed by, you know, the guy who played Tuvok, Tim Russ, who Larry and I were blessed to meet on the set of The Highwayman way back in 1987-88, and he played DC DC Montana in that. And then, as the guy who could fix things. And Tuvok, excuse me, Russ. Okay, I know recently he's been like controversial. He's said some things, things like that. But you know what? I don't want to base a few poignant and pointed comments which could be considered inflammatory. I don't consider a man for his overall body of work just on some things he's saying. Tim Russ to me is still a decent man. When I met him, he was a very nice person. Great African American actor. He's a great director. He's a great writer. He has produced episodes on Voyager. I mean, he's to me, he's Tuvok. He is the epitome of what Leonard Nimoy brought to the table in the original Star Trek series as Spock, and then you've got Tuvok. There you go. I mean, come on. He was great with Voyager. So I don't know why people make so much hatred toward him on that score. Things he just says. He's using his common. He's trying to use his common sense and trying to use his right to speak. Right, freedom of speech. Or at least I looked, and that's still in the Constitution, right? But I don't want to get too controversial or political. I just want to say that I really enjoyed Tim Russ. So, well, you take that for however you want to handle that. Okay, so we got those 2 episodes next week, and then we got, like I said, we'll do Renegades: The Requiem, Star Trek fan film, and then the following weekend, I believe on the 15th, we are doing Star Wars fan film called Vader: Shards of the Past, and that was made by Star Trek Theory, and we're going to go ahead and do a review of that episode. Now, there's supposed to be 3 parts to this. Now, the second part, they got to as far as I think they went into a tunnel. I don't want to really go into it right now because there's still too much going on with that. And then they're trying to finish that, plus they're trying to get a part 3. So all this is on YouTube. You guys can go check it out under his moniker, his channel called Star Wars Theory. So make sure you check that out. Yeah, it's a good channel. I like it. I hope he finishes everything he plans on doing. With Mace Windu meeting up again. With the Darth Vader. He used to be Anakin Skywalker. So yeah, that should be cool. That will be fun. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and do a quick prayer while we're waiting. So, in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, dear Lord, make sure you're watching over everybody this weekend. I know there's some terrible weather coming, and all across the country, here in Canada and in the United States, we have friends who might be out there on the roads, dangerous as they are, ice roads and everything. So please, please watch over all of our friends and family and relatives and acquaintances and nieces and everybody we know in our family, in our extended family, Lord. And may your blessed Son, Jesus Christ, the Holy Spirit, most blessed Virgin Mary, and of course, all your angels and saints, as well as Saint Suzanne and Saint Michael the Archangel, can all protect us and pray for us. So with all this, we ask, Lord, in your name, amen and amen, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. There we go. Alrighty. Well, before I go, I just want to say, first of all, I really appreciate everybody who follows us even if it's only one or two people. It's okay. No worries. Who follow us every week when I'm able to do these. Um, if I falter and I can't do them, I'm going to give you a reasonable excuse why I couldn't do it. Um, as you all know, um, for Christians and Catholics, Lenten season, we're in full swing now. It just started, Wednesday with Ash Wednesday. Oh, and don't forget, um, Easter is on April 20th this year. Suzanne and I will be celebrating our 9th wedding anniversary on April 19th. It'll be a combination of our celebration and Easter, and that will be time to be determined. I haven't really decided yet. That is next month, so I got plenty of time to figure out when I want to do that for us, for me and Suzanne, and a panel and everything. So that's going to take a while. Um, let me see. So, and then officially it ends on April 21st, which is Easter Monday, they call it. So, believe me, on Monday, April 21st, Suzanne's going to go get us some extra chocolate. That's what we're giving up for Lent is chocolate. We're giving that up completely. Anything related to chocolate. So, yeah. And be well, everyone. Thank you, Jeff B. And thank you, sir, for being here for your lunch with us. Thank you for spending that time with us. We appreciate that. And you too, Bone. Definitely. And of course, Fat Man Batman, who's known as Richard, and Women Wonder with Gigi. Gigi, his beautiful wife. So thank you both for being here today. We really appreciate that. That's fantastic. Your marriage and everything is blessed and may continue to stay blessed uh, forever, or as long as God allows it. Okay. Well, I want to say thank you again, everyone. Been so wonderful to us. And we will continue to put out these wonderful, informative reviews every week, Monday through Thursday, hopefully at 1 p.m. Eastern. That's when I've always been trying to set it at. Sometimes I get a little early. Like today I had to because it was kind of snowing outside a lot, heavy winds, and 24 degrees. And sometimes when we have really heavy winds, it blows over a transformer, it blows up something. Next thing you know, our power's out for a little bit. So we just want to make sure that that didn't happen and we could get through this. Um, and we will still have some months like this until probably early June is usually when it lasts. So an extended winter. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Punxsutawney Phil. Wow. Hey, I can blame a groundhog. I'm allowed. Anyway, so to everyone here, Jeff B, Bone, Women Wonder with Gigi and her wonderful husband, Fat Man Batman. And of course, this episode is dedicated to my best friend Larry of Be Yourself Adventures. Pray to please, everyone, extra prayers for his surgery tomorrow on Friday. That is going to be intensive. It's going to be very delicate procedure. I hope and pray, both of us do, Suzanne and I especially, that he gets through it. He is our family, so we hope we can get through it. And Diane, stay strong, okay? His wife, and Tyler too. You stay strong, okay, as his son. And Ronnie, stay strong as one of his best friends. And you guys out there, Richard and Gigi as well. Yeah. And I want to congratulate Gigi for becoming a new standard mod to our channel. So thank you for being here. And I'm glad you appeared. I'm glad you were here. That's awesome. Okay, so we have 6 likes. We still have 2 people watching. Very cool. Thank you so very much. All right, so with that, the first thing I always say is, in the immortal words of Gene Siskel of the Chicago Tribune, who was a better movie critic than unfortunately, Roger Ebert. Of course, he's gone too, so rest in peace. I found that out. But Gene Siskel always said, and the aisle is now closed. So make sure you guys stay safe out there, guys and gals, everybody. Charlotte, if Night Star the Werewolf, if you're doing anything this weekend, please let me know. Gentlemen, I have sent you Renegades the Requiem through each of your Facebook messengers. So make sure you watch that film, rewatch this so you know what I'm telling you about to watch, please, if you want to. and then we can do our review on Saturday at 1 p.m. this coming Saturday. And don't forget, Daylight Savings Time returns in its evil form on Sunday, March 9th. And remember, Arizona and Hawaii don't share that promise. There you go. No way. I'm not doing DST, but everybody else does. So make sure you remember that's going to happen just after 3 a.m. on this coming Sunday. So keep that in mind and move up your watches. You move forward. As my wife told me, you move forward in spring, you spring back in fall. So, yeah. Alrighty. Let's see. Okay. So as I always say, always expect the unexpected, everybody, or everyone, whichever one. My beautiful wife always says, leave everything in God's hands as a minister. And she's a beautiful, wonderful soulmate of mine, and I love her to death. And I will till death do us part, as they say. And of course, my wonderful brother, Larry, who I've known, like I said, for almost 50 years, he always says, always be yourself. Great words to live by. I think that's awesome. So thank you, brother. And I dedicate this episode to you today for your what you're going to go through tomorrow. All right. So remember, God bless America. God bless Canada. God bless the entire freaking world we live in. And of course, I always say peace with 2 thumbs up from MikeySuzeFour and from our beautiful cats, Moon Pie and Deja Vu. So take care, everyone. We'll see you next time. Next Monday. Well, no, this coming Saturday for Renegades the Requiem, our live stream review of the fan film. And then next week, Monday, of course, as it all starts all over again, Red Dwarf. Yes. So keep the eye closed, but keep your hearts open and stay true to yourselves. Amen.